What if one conversation could change Amy's future forever? In the brand new Heartland Season 19 trailer, Amy finally opens her heart in a way we haven't seen in years. She talks to Nathan, but not about horses, not about the ranch, not even about family drama. She talks about Ty Borden. Yes, the man who changed her life, the man she built her family with, and the man whose memory still lingers over every corner of Heartland. This moment isn't just emotional, it could be the most important scene of the entire season. Because when Amy speaks Ty's name, the whole world of Heartland stops to listen. Asterisk. The trailer wastes no time pulling us back into the emotional storm at Heartland Ranch. It shows Amy and Nathan in a quiet, private moment away from the noise, away from the usual rush of ranch life. The scene feels almost frozen in time. You can see it in Amy's face. She's holding back years of pain and memories, but also a deep longing to finally release some of it. For so many seasons, we've watched her carry Ty's memory like both a wound and a treasure. She doesn't speak of him often, but when she does, it's raw and real. And now, for the first time in a long time, she chooses Nathan to be the person she opens up to. This decision is huge. Think about it. Amy has her family. She has people who knew Ty as closely as she did. She could have confided in Lou, in Jack, even in Georgie. But instead, she sits with Nathan, the new face in her life, someone who represents a future she isn't sure about yet. That choice alone tells us that Amy might be ready to test the waters of trust again. It doesn't mean she's moving on completely, but it does mean she's willing to let someone else into her most guarded space, the place where Ty still lives in her heart. The way the trailer frames this moment makes it even more powerful. There are no big dramatic gestures, no overly polished speeches. It's Amy, speaking softly, almost carefully, about the man she loved and lost. She mentions how Ty taught her patience, how he grounded her when life spun out of control, and how even now his voice sometimes guides her. Nathan doesn't interrupt, he doesn't push, he just listens. And that listening is exactly what Amy needs. Because for her, speaking Ty's name isn't about letting go, it's about remembering without breaking apart. This trailer moment is also carefully designed to stir the fans. We know Heartland doesn't throw these scenes in randomly. Every choice is intentional. Amy talking to Nathan about Ty signals a turning point. It means that the writers want us to see the balance between past and future, grief and hope. The emotional weight of this scene is not only about Amy missing Ty, it's about whether she's ready to carry his memory forward while still opening her heart to what comes next. That what comes next might just involve Nathan in ways we don't yet understand. And let's not forget, Nathan has been carefully written as more than just another ranch hand. He's supportive, kind, and steady. In this trailer moment, he doesn't try to step into Ty's shoes, and that's important. Instead, he positions himself as someone who respects Ty's legacy while offering Amy the chance to breathe again. That dynamic sets up a storyline filled with tension, speculation, and a lot of emotion. The fans will wonder, can Amy let Nathan become a bigger part of her life without feeling like she's betraying Ty's memory? That's the question the trailer plants in our minds. This scene is more than just dialogue. It's a door opening. And for longtime Heartland fans, it's the most bittersweet door we've seen in years. Asterisk. Amy Fleming has always been the heart of Heartland. From the very beginning, her journey was about healing, not only for the horses she worked with, but for herself too. When Ty came into her life, he wasn't just a partner. He was her equal, her anchor, and the father of her child. His sudden loss shattered not only Amy, but the entire Heartland family, and fans have felt every ounce of that pain across the seasons. But Season 19 is doing something different. It's not just showing Amy surviving without Ty, it's showing her trying to truly live again. And that's where Nathan becomes such a fascinating part of the story. The moment Amy mentions Ty to Nathan, we see something rare, vulnerability mixed with strength. For years, Amy carried Ty's memory like a fragile glass, beautiful but impossible to hold without hurting herself. Every time she thought of him, it reminded her of everything she lost. But this trailer proves Amy is finally learning to hold that memory with pride instead of only pain. She's starting to see Ty not as a wound that won't heal, but as a foundation she can stand on. That shift tells us that season 19 is going to be about balance. How to honor the past while still stepping into the future. Nathan's role here is important. He isn't replacing Ty, and the writers make sure we understand that. Instead, Nathan is a mirror. He reflects Amy's strength back to her. He doesn't tell her what to feel. He doesn't suggest she move on too quickly, and he doesn't make promises he can't keep. What he does is simple, yet powerful. He listens and he holds space for her grief. For a woman like Amy, who has always been surrounded by people who either try to protect her or push her forward, Nathan's quiet patience feels different. And that difference is what could make him a key figure in Amy's healing journey. This scene also gives us insight into how far Amy has come since Ty's passing. In earlier seasons, we saw her bottling everything inside, focusing on work at the ranch, raising Lindy, and keeping her emotions locked away. She didn't want to show weakness. She didn't want to risk falling apart in front of others. But now, years later, she is ready to be open again. Talking to Nathan about Ty shows that Amy is strong enough to carry her memories and still share them. That kind of emotional growth is what makes this moment so unforgettable. It's not about romance yet. It's about bravery. For longtime Heartland fans, this creates an emotional storm. Some will see Amy's words as a step toward letting go of Ty and possibly opening her heart to someone new. Others will view it as a sign of her eternal loyalty to Ty, proof that even as she heals, his memory will never fade. Both interpretations are valid, and that's what makes this scene brilliant. It allows space for fans to project their own feelings, their own hopes onto Amy's story. But the real question is, why Nathan? Why not Lou or Jack or even Georgie? The answer might lie in the way Heartland is evolving. Family will always be central, but season 19 seems to be pointing toward new dynamics and new beginnings. Amy talking to Nathan shows that she's not afraid to trust someone outside of her inner circle, and that choice is intentional. It means she's not just surviving in the safety of what she already knows, she's testing what life might look like beyond the shadows of her grief. That doesn't mean romance is guaranteed. In fact, the show may never push Amy and Nathan into that territory. But even if their connection remains only as friends, this bond matters. It proves Amy can build meaningful relationships without feeling like she's betraying Ty. That lesson alone could be one of the most powerful arcs of season 19. This trailer moment also reminds us of Heartland's greatest strength, its emotional honesty. Unlike many dramas, Heartland doesn't rush healing, it doesn't force love stories, and it doesn't forget its history. By letting Amy speak about Ty in such an open and vulnerable way, the writers are assuring fans that Ty will always be part of the story even if he isn't physically present. His memory is stitched into the very fabric of the show, and every time Amy speaks his name, it keeps him alive for the characters and the audience. So when Amy looks at Nathan and talks about Ty, what we're really seeing is a woman who has carried years of pain, finally realizing that her love for Ty doesn't have to hold her back, it can push her forward. And Nathan, whether he knows it or not, is helping her take the first step into a life where grief and hope can coexist. Heartland has never been just about one character, it's always been about how family, love, and loss weave together to create stories that feel real. That's why the moment Amy talks to Nathan about Ty isn't just about her healing. It's about how season 19 is shaping the future of the entire Heartland ranch. This trailer moment sets off a ripple effect, hinting at bigger storylines that could define the season. First, there's the theme of generational strength. Jack has always been the rock of Heartland, guiding Amy, Lou, and the rest of the family with his wisdom. But season 19 suggests that Amy is stepping fully into her role as the emotional center of the family. By opening up to Nathan, she's showing a kind of leadership that goes beyond ranch work. She's modeling resilience for Lindy, proving that it's possible to honor the past without being trapped by it. This lesson doesn't just impact Amy, it sets the tone for everyone around her. Lindy, as she grows, will carry her father's memory through Amy's words, but she also learns strength from seeing her mother's courage. Then there's Lou, who is often balancing her political career with family duties. Amy's willingness to talk about Ty could influence Lou to reflect on her own choices about family, about marriage, and about what it means to move forward while still carrying past scars. Lou's journey has always mirrored Amy's in some ways, and this season might highlight the differences and similarities in how each sister deals with change. Lou has Jack to lean on, but seeing Amy open her heart might inspire Lou to do the same in her own life, and let's not forget Georgie. Even if her screen time is uncertain, Amy's connection with Nathan could remind Georgie of what she has lost and what she's still searching for. Georgie always looked up to Amy and Ty's love story as a kind of ideal. Watching Amy speak about Ty again could inspire Georgie to think about her own relationships and what she wants for her future. It's these echoes how one character's healing can influence another that make Heartland such a powerful family saga from a storytelling perspective. This conversation also signals that Ty's presence will not fade away. In Season 19, his memory is set to be a guiding force in Amy's choices and perhaps in the choices of the entire family. The writers know how important Ty is to the fans, and by including him in such a central way even years after his passing, they're ensuring his legacy continues to shape the story. Every decision Amy makes will, in some way, be tied to the question of what Ty would have wanted, or how his love still fuels her courage. But here's where it gets really interesting. Nathan's involvement suggests a shift in the dynamics of the ranch itself. Heartland has always been about trust between people and trust between people and horses. If Amy is willing to trust Nathan with her deepest pain, it means she may also trust him with bigger responsibilities at the ranch. That could create tension. Will Jack see Nathan as a dependable partner or as someone intruding on sacred ground? Will Lou feel protective of Amy and push back? These are the kinds of conflicts that could drive the drama forward in Season 19. At the same time, Amy's bond with Nathan could reshape how Heartland operates day to day. Ty was a central figure at the ranch, and his absence left a gap. Nathan, without replacing him, might help fill that void in small but meaningful ways. The trailer hints at scenes where Nathan and Amy work side by side, and those moments could symbolize more than just training horses. They could represent the slow rebuilding of Amy's trust and partnership. And beyond the family and ranch, this storyline ties into a broader theme of community healing. Heartland has always been about more than just the Flemings. The town watches them, learns from them, and leans on them in times of struggle. Amy talking about Ty publicly, even if just to Nathan, could be the spark that encouraged others in Hudson to face their own griefs, their own hidden stories. That ripple effect makes the trailer moment even more powerful, because it isn't just personal, it's communal. What makes this especially compelling is how it sets the stage for future conflicts and resolutions. If Amy leans on Nathan more, fans will question whether it's friendship or romance. If Jack sees Nathan stepping closer, will he approve or will he feel Ty's memory is being pushed aside? If Lou notices the bond, will she protect Amy from what she thinks could be heartbreak, or will she encourage her to take the risk? Each of these questions opens doors for new storylines, and they all circle back to the conversation about Ty. So when we look at the bigger Season 19 picture, Amy's talk with Nathan isn't just one scene, it's the cornerstone of everything to come. It sets up Amy's growth, influences her family's choices, reshapes the ranch, and stirs up questions that will keep fans debating all season long. The writers know exactly what they're doing by putting this moment front and center in the trailer. They want us to feel that Ty is still here, guiding Amy and shaping her future, even if that future looks very different from the past. Whenever Heartland releases a trailer, fans across the world gather to analyze every frame. But this time, the scene of Amy talking to Nathan about Ty Borden has sparked a storm of emotions like no other. For many, Ty isn't just a character, he's a legacy, a memory that defines what Heartland has always stood for. So when Amy finally speaks his name in this new season, it's not just a passing moment. It's a reminder of everything fans have loved, lost, and still hope for in this story. The first wave of reactions is bound to be emotional attachment. Longtime fans who still haven't healed from Ty's death will feel their hearts twist hearing Amy talk about him again. For years, many viewers have begged for Ty's presence to remain alive in the story, even if only through memories or Amy's words. The trailer delivers exactly that. It tells fans Ty is still here, in spirit, in memory, and in the choices Amy makes. That reassurance alone is enough to bring many to tears. Social media is already buzzing with fans sharing how deeply they miss Ty, and how hearing Amy talk about him feels like reopening an old wound, but also like receiving a gift, because it keeps his spirit alive. The second wave of reaction is more divided, and it centers around Nathan. Some fans are already rooting for Amy to find happiness again, even if it means building a future with someone new. These fans argue that Amy deserves love, that she has carried her grief for so long, and that Ty himself would have wanted her to find joy again. For them, Nathan represents hope, a chance for Amy to heal in a way that doesn't erase Ty's memory, but instead honors it by proving that love can survive loss. But not every fan feels that way. On the other side, there are viewers who believe Amy should never move on romantically, at least not with Nathan. For them, Amy and Ty's love story is sacred, untouchable, and eternal. They see her speaking Ty's name as proof that she still belongs to him, no matter what. For these fans, the idea of Amy opening her heart to Nathan feels wrong, almost like rewriting the history that made Heartland so beloved. The clash of these two fan perspectives, those who want Amy to move forward, and those who want her to hold on to Ty forever, creates one of the most emotional debates the show has ever seen. This division leads to some fascinating fan theories. One theory suggests that Nathan might not become a love interest at all. Instead, his role could simply be as a safe space for Amy to talk about Ty, helping her process her grief while keeping the door closed to romance. This would allow Amy to heal without stirring too much conflict among fans. Another theory, however, argues that the writers are slowly testing the waters, introducing Nathan in this emotional scene as a way of easing viewers into the possibility of a deeper connection between him and Amy. Later in the season, there's even speculation that Ty's memory will be more present than ever in season 19. Some fans believe Amy's talk with Nathan could be the beginning of a storyline where Ty's influence guides not just Amy, but also Lindy. Imagine Amy sharing Ty's lessons with her daughter, passing down his values and his wisdom. That would give Ty a permanent place in the show's future, even if he isn't physically there. It would also bring comfort to fans who can't imagine Heartland without him. And then, of course, there's the group of fans who dream of the impossible, a surprise twist where Ty somehow returns. While this is highly unlikely, the intensity of the fanbase means those conversations will always resurface. The trailer fuels this hope simply by putting Ty back into the dialogue. When Amy says his name, fans can't help but wonder if the writers have more planned than just memories, maybe through old letters, videos, or storylines that tie back to him in ways we can't yet predict. But beyond theories, the real power of this scene lies in how it makes viewers feel. For many, it's bittersweet. It hurts to hear Ty's name and remember he's gone, but it also heals to know he isn't forgotten. For others, it sparks hope that Amy's future will hold more light than darkness, that she will find a way to carry Ty's love while still embracing new happiness. And for some, it simply reminds them why they love Heartland, because it's not just a show about horses and ranch life. It's a show about family, grief, resilience, and love that endures through everything. The writers know fans are emotionally invested, and that's why this scene is so central in the trailer. It's not just teasing a storyline, it's inviting the audience into a conversation. Should Amy move on with Nathan? Should she stay devoted to Ty's memory forever? Or is there a middle ground where both can exist? These are the questions that will dominate fan discussions throughout the season, fueling theories, debates, and emotional posts across every Heartland community. And that's exactly what makes this trailer moment unforgettable. It doesn't just set up the story of season 19, it sets up a dialogue between the show and its fans. Amy speaking Ty's name reminds us all that healing is complicated, love is eternal, and the future is never as simple as closing one chapter and opening Another, for longtime Heartland viewers, this isn't just drama, it's personal.